A suppressed study on air traffic control errors is exposing that chronic fatigue may be a factor in errors made by air traffic controllers. And when you fly, there are many safety factors. Of course, there's the pilots, right? Are the pilots properly trained? How much experience do they have? Have the pilots been drinking? Are the pilots properly rested, etc.? But then you also have the airplane maintenance teams. Who is maintaining the planes? Have the maintenance records been kept properly? And as a result, has the right maintenance been done to the planes? And then there's those who maintain the runways. Has the runway been properly checked and kept clear of debris? Is the runway in good shape? Are there potholes in the runway that could impact a plane? So many other factors. And one of the important ones that often doesn't get as much attention is that of air traffic controllers who route the planes. And NASA conducted a study a few years ago that revealed that many of America's air traffic controllers are suffering from chronic fatigue, often having shifts very close together with not enough rest time between shifts, and that this is potentially putting air passengers at risk. And this was written 3 years ago. It was only released 2 days ago after the Associated Press managed to obtain a copy. The investigators queried over 3,000 air traffic controllers about schedules, sleep habits, etc., and they conducted a study of sleep patterns with 200 of those 3,000 air traffic controllers. And they found that 2 in 10 air traffic controllers made significant on-the-job errors, like flying planes too close together, in the year preceding the study. Most of the controllers said those errors were the result of fatigue, and they characterized fatigue as a high or extreme safety risk. The FAA initially commissioned the report, but, quote, did not accept it, according to a 2014 memo. Supposedly, they did use some of the findings to improve the fatigue problem within air traffic controllers. And they say that now this is much less of a problem than it was in the past. This is very disturbing, Lewis. Not only is it disturbing that this is going on within air traffic controllers, it's disturbing that the study was suppressed for 3 years.
Yeah, that is quite disturbing and quite scary. As someone who, once in a while, is in an airplane, I remember I would ask the audience, think to yourself, think of a time when you were just the most sleep deprived you've ever been, or the most fatigued you've ever been. And think about how you were operating at that point. I've tried to do this show and just talk with you being incredibly sleep deprived, and my brain just didn't work at all. Imagine trying to do air traffic control. It's crazy.
It reminds me of the scenes in Breaking Bad involving an air traffic controller under stress from his daughter dying. And as I read the report, I was thinking back to that. Of course, a fictionalized account of air traffic control, no question about that. Let's also not forget that Ronald Reagan illegally broke a strike by the Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization, or PATCO, considered to be one of the most important events of the 20th century with regard to labor history. Back in '83, air traffic controllers went on strike because of working conditions. They were promptly fired by President Reagan. And at the time, there was this big group of Vietnam-era military air traffic controllers who went right in and replaced them. And very different situation now, where we have overworked and clearly under-rested air traffic controllers.